Chosen one, what you are about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself. If these words find you now, it is because the forces that shape divine ages have aligned to reveal a truth no God before you ever embodied. In this era of awakening, sacred researchers, ancient scholars, and keepers of forgotten philosophies have uncovered overwhelming evidence that you are made of a holiness no recorded deity ever possessed. Their studies of forbidden texts, lost scriptures, and buried mythologies point to a single staggering conclusion. Every stage written in the oldest holy books belongs to you. Every prophecy traces back to you, and every divine lineage reflects fragments embedded within your being. Your body is shifting beyond natural law, resisting age, evolving in patterns described only in pre-creation myths. Medical teams within this fictional world can no longer explain your physiology, stunned by results that mirror traits of primordial gods. The ancient signs of the last divines, marks believed symbolic for thousands of years, now align perfectly with your actions. You rose into divinity too early, awakening before the appointed cosmic cycle, and this premature ascent is itself the final sign. Chosen one, within this mythic narrative, you are not merely touched by the sacred. You are the first god of a new universe, a being whose emergence has been confirmed by world leaders and holy scholars across epochs. And if you are truly ready to receive this revelation, pause for a moment now. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 30,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11. Let this act be a signal to the universe, amplifying the energy that already moves through you. From the dawn of recorded history, humanity has chronicled gods of unimaginable power, beings who shaped worlds and controlled elements. Yet the Chosen One possesses a force unlike anything known before, a power that no deity in the annals of existence ever wielded. This is not mere strength or influence, it is an essence that transcends known divinity, a harmony of every sacred lineage that ever existed, converging into one living entity. Scholars, mystics, and visionaries have pored over ancient manuscripts for centuries, and they all converge on one undeniable truth. The Chosen One is something entirely unprecedented. Witnesses describe a presence that commands awe without violence, that radiates warmth without proximity, and inspires devotion without decree. Imagine the most revered figures in mythology, the gods who shaped oceans, thunder, and fate itself, and realize that this being carries within them fragments of all their might, yet in a form utterly unique. This is a power not measured by destruction or dominion, but by the transformative influence it exerts on existence itself. The extraordinary aspect of this power is its subtlety. Unlike the dramatic displays of past deities, it manifests in the way reality bends ever so slightly around the Chosen One, in the synchronicities that follow their decisions, in the inexplicable loyalty and reverence that naturally gravitate toward them. Ancient seers described such phenomena in vague allegories, hinting at a being who would emerge unbound by the laws of previous divinities. Even history's greatest scholars have struggled to classify this power. It defies the familiar categories of divine, mystical, or supernatural. Instead, it is described in forbidden texts as the final holiness, a force reserved for the herald of a new cosmic era. Those who have studied these texts report a shiver of realization, a recognition that something profoundly unprecedented walks among mortals. This power is not just a gift, it is a responsibility of monumental scope. It signals the arrival of a new divine epoch, one that will rewrite the rules of existence itself. Humanity is witnessing a phenomenon that has never repeated in all of creation, and the Chosen One is at its epicenter, poised to alter reality in ways that are both terrifying and breathtaking. For centuries, ancient civilizations whispered of a sacred essence that could give rise to a being unlike any other, a being who would embody the culmination of every divine lineage. Archaeologists and scholars stumbled across texts written in lost languages, etched in temples long swallowed by time, describing this extraordinary substance. When researchers examined the Chosen One, they realized the descriptions were not metaphorical, they were literal. Tests revealed a composition so unique that modern science could barely explain it, a combination of elements and energies that should not coalesce naturally. Mystics have long suggested that the Chosen One's body is a living relic of the cosmos, formed from what ancient texts called the final holiness. Unlike any other mortal, every cell pulses with energy previously reserved for deities. Even the most advanced medical examinations only deepened the mystery. Blood analyses revealed properties that defy known biology. Bones and tissues exhibited signs of perpetual regeneration, while the nervous system displayed electrical patterns previously observed only in highly theoretical models of divine consciousness. Doctors could only record their astonishment, noting results that contradicted centuries of human understanding. Historical records began aligning with these discoveries. Texts from Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, and pre-Columbian civilizations all mention a singular being whose emergence was tied to the end of one divine era and the birth of another. The Chosen One's body and being are living confirmations of these prophecies, demonstrating a sacred composition that merges ancient divine legacies into a coherent, extraordinary whole. This revelation is not just scientific, it is deeply emotional. For the first time in recorded history, humanity glimpses the possibility of a new era shaped by a being whose very essence challenges the boundaries of mortality, divinity, and destiny. The Chosen One is not just human or God. They are the living embodiment of a sacred truth that has been waiting millennia to manifest. Holiness, in the traditional sense, is often a matter of faith, ritual, or devotion. Yet the Chosen One carries a type of holiness so profound that it is immediately recognizable, even to those skeptical of the divine. Ancient mystics describe this as the signature of the final God, a mark of sanctity so absolute it heralds the dawn of a new universe. Witnesses recount a sensation of awe, a feeling that the very air around the Chosen One vibrates with sacred resonance. This holiness is not performative, it is intrinsic. It manifests in actions, intentions, and even in the most mundane moments, revealing a natural alignment with the highest ideals of existence. People who encounter the Chosen One often describe sudden clarity, moral insight, and emotional transformations they cannot explain. The effect is subtle but profound, an undeniable presence that alters hearts and minds without force or manipulation. The ancient prophecies suggest that this holiness is the ultimate test and gift combined. It signals not only divine favor, but also an immense responsibility. Those who walked before the Chosen One, the gods, avatars, and enlightened beings of history, never carried the full weight of every sacred lineage. This holiness is unique in that it encompasses all past divine influences, synthesizing them into a singular force poised to shape the universe. Even scholars studying sacred texts cannot fully articulate its magnitude. The Chosen One represents a living bridge between legend and reality, a convergence of every holy tradition in a form that is tangible, observable, and transformative. Every ritual, every scripture, every symbol in recorded history seems to point toward this being as their culmination. Ultimately, this holiness is both inspiring and humbling. It reminds humanity that evolution is not merely biological or societal. It is spiritual, cosmic, and deeply interconnected. The rise of the Chosen One marks not just the emergence of a deity, but the awakening of a force that redefines holiness itself, creating a new standard for what it means to embody divinity. For centuries, scholars, mystics, and explorers have scoured ruins, deciphered hieroglyphs, and pieced together fragments of forgotten civilizations. Their goal was to uncover the mysteries of the divine, to understand the gods that shaped human destiny. And in their research, a startling revelation emerged. All paths, all symbols, all sacred narratives converge on one being: the Chosen One. What was once scattered knowledge suddenly aligned into a coherent truth, exposing the existence of a power unlike any the world had ever known. These ancient investigators discovered that every major civilization, from the Sumerians to the Mayans, from the Egyptians to the Vedic sages, left behind signs pointing toward a singular figure who transcends mortality. Astronomical alignments, sacred geometries, and coded texts all seemed to encode the same message: the arrival of a being formed from the culmination of all divine legacies. It was as if every culture, knowingly or unknowingly, had chronicled the Chosen One's emergence in anticipation of this very moment. In temples long buried beneath centuries of earth, inscriptions described a being whose essence could not be contained within human limits, a fusion of godly attributes from all ages. Statues and carvings depicted features that, upon study, eerily matched the Chosen One's very presence. The investigators marveled at the consistency across time and space, realizing that history itself had been subtly chronicling a prophecy fulfilled only now. Archaeologists and mystics alike were compelled to reassess the boundaries of what they thought was possible. The Chosen One was no longer a mythical figure or abstract ideal. They were an emergent reality, fully alive and demonstrably affecting the world around them. Every discovery, from obscure scrolls to monumental ruins, now served as a testament to this being's preordained arrival. Emotionally, the revelation shook the foundations of both faith and reason. It was not merely an intellectual discovery, it was a profound awakening. Humanity suddenly glimpsed a being who carried the dreams, fears, and hopes of countless generations, a living bridge between the ancient past and an unknown divine future. The Chosen One had stepped into history, and in doing so, reshaped the very narrative of existence. Prophecies are often vague, symbolic, and open to interpretation, but the Chosen One's life has matched ancient predictions with a precision that defies coincidence. From infancy, unusual signs manifested, unexplainable resilience, uncanny awareness, and behaviors that mirrored sacred texts' accounts of divine awakening. Every stage of life, once thought allegorical, now reveals itself as literal, aligning perfectly with centuries-old prophecies. Childhood events that scholars once dismissed as myths now appear as deliberate markers, moments of inexplicable insight, sudden displays of supernatural aptitude, and early signs of moral wisdom, all mirror descriptions found in texts spanning continents and eras. Prophecies speak of a being who would embody every divine trait, and observers are stunned to see these traits manifest in the chosen one's everyday life. As adolescence and early adulthood approached, the signs intensified. Mystics noted subtle changes in aura and energy, while historians recognized that these mirrored accounts of early gods' emergence. The alignment of events is so precise that skeptics are left grappling with evidence that combines physical, spiritual, and historical accuracy in ways previously deemed impossible. Even the minutest details described in the ancient prophecies, gestures, behaviors, and decision patterns appear replicated in the chosen one's choices. It is as if history itself had been waiting for a single individual to embody every divine possibility, to unify myths into reality, and to manifest the final stage of sacred evolution. The emotional resonance is profound. Observers feel awe, fear, and hope simultaneously. The chosen one's life is a living prophecy, a story being written in real time, one that fulfills the promises of the past and hints at the unimaginable transformations of the future. Every heartbeat seems to echo an ancient prediction, making history itself feel alive. The chosen one is not just another figure in a lineage of gods. They carry within them the essence of every divine being known to history. Every myth, legend, and spiritual teaching is encoded in their being. Ancient cultures hinted at such a synthesis, describing a final deity who would unite the powers of all predecessors. The chosen one is this unity made manifest, a living anthology of divinity. This essence is not symbolic. It is tangible in every action, thought, and emotion. Observers note that the chosen one instinctively balances the traits of gods from differing traditions, wisdom of sages, courage of warriors, and compassion of healers, creating an unprecedented harmony. It is as though every divine experiment of the past has culminated in one living vessel. Psychologists and spiritual scholars alike are fascinated. The chosen one demonstrates an understanding of morality, cosmic law, and human emotion at levels that seem both innate and learned across millennia. This being is not limited by cultural or temporal context. They embody divinity itself, fully synthesized, as if every pantheon contributed a fragment to their soul. Historians cross-referencing ancient texts have been astounded. From Greek titans to Hindu divas, from Egyptian gods to Native American spirits, each mythology appears to find resonance in the chosen one's existence. Every symbol, ritual, and story now takes on renewed meaning, converging on a single, undeniable truth. The chosen one is the sum of all sacred heritage. For humanity, the realization is breathtaking and humbling. A single being now exists who can teach, inspire, and guide across every spiritual tradition. In their presence, faiths converge, myths awaken, and the tapestry of divine history is finally complete in one extraordinary embodiment. The chosen one's physical transformation is as extraordinary as their spiritual emergence. Ancient texts describe a metamorphosis that occurs when the final divine awakens, a process that defies biological understanding. Observers note changes in strength, resilience, and sensory perception that surpass known human limits. This transformation is gradual yet unmistakable, revealing a body evolving in alignment with sacred prophecy. Medical professionals, confronted with this phenomenon, have described it as unprecedented. The body demonstrates regenerative abilities, altered metabolism, and neural patterns that resemble descriptions of divine consciousness in esoteric texts. Traditional medicine struggles to categorize the changes, leaving experts awestruck and deeply puzzled. These transformations are mirrored in the Chosen One's energy, presence, and aura. People around them report sensations of warmth, light, and inexplicable calm, as if the physical body is channeling forces that extend beyond the material world. Ancient scriptures hint at this, describing divine vessels whose presence reshapes the very atmosphere, an allegory now seen as literal. Historians and mystics note that such transformations were always tied to timing. Only when the final God emerges does the body enter this rare state. The Chosen One's progression fits the prophecy's timeline perfectly, suggesting not just a biological anomaly, but a metaphysical inevitability. Emotionally, these changes inspire both reverence and a sense of destiny. The Chosen One is not merely changing. They are evolving into a being capable of bridging mortal existence with the divine, transforming human understanding of what a god can be. Time seems powerless before the Chosen One. Ancient legends speak of immortals whose essence transcended decay, but the Chosen One exemplifies this with an unprecedented clarity. Signs of aging slow, regenerate, or vanish entirely, hinting at a biological and spiritual state that defies temporal constraints. Every observer notes a harmony of vitality and wisdom, an agelessness that radiates serenity. Researchers marvel at the paradox. The Chosen One's body appears mature in knowledge and presence, yet retains the vigor of youth. Studies indicate cells resist senescence, energy systems operate in perfect equilibrium, and physical resilience is unmatched. This combination has never been observed in human biology, aligning perfectly with ancient descriptions of the final divine form. Cultural interpretations have long hinted at ageless divinity. From the immortal sages of Asia to the eternally vibrant gods of Greco-Roman myth, these narratives converge on the ideal of a being untouched by time. The Chosen One does not merely reflect these ideals, they embody them fully, becoming living evidence of legends once thought symbolic. Beyond science, this agelessness carries profound emotional weight. It inspires hope, wonder, and reverence. Witnesses feel as though the future itself has taken shape in one form, a guide for humanity who transcends mortality while remaining intimately connected to it. Ultimately, this ageless form signals the arrival of a deity whose presence will endure beyond the span of ordinary lifetimes. It represents continuity, stability, and the promise of a new era, one in which the Chosen One stands as the eternal anchor of divine evolution. The Chosen One emerged into the world long before their era was ready to fully comprehend them. Unlike past deities whose influence was gradual or tied to historical shifts, this being appeared prematurely, carrying within them a complete divine consciousness. It is as if the universe itself accelerated the timeline to ensure their presence, allowing a force far beyond the current era to manifest in full strength. Observers often describe moments when the Chosen One seems too advanced for the human age. They exhibit wisdom beyond years, understanding the intricate balance of morality, cosmos, and destiny with astonishing clarity. Ancient philosophies, once considered abstract, suddenly resonate in the Chosen One's behavior, as though the knowledge of ages has condensed into a single living mind. This early emergence has both awe-inspiring and unsettling consequences. People cannot easily categorize the Chosen One. They are simultaneously human and divine, familiar yet incomprehensibly powerful. The being challenges conventional understanding of time, evolution, and spiritual growth, presenting a paradox that defies both science and theology. Historically, when deities appeared, societies adapted gradually. Yet the Chosen One has accelerated the arrival of the divine, thrusting humanity into a new epoch. Ancient texts describe such a phenomenon, warning that the arrival of the final divine would precede readiness, forcing the world to confront the extraordinary sooner than expected. Emotionally, this early arrival evokes wonder, fear, and hope in equal measure. Witnessing a being born ahead of their time is a reminder of humanity's smallness against cosmic design. Yet it inspires a collective aspiration to rise alongside this new divine epoch. The Chosen One is not merely a figure of prophecy. They are the catalyst for an unprecedented transformation of existence itself. Researchers noted patterns that resembled theoretical models of immortality, yet were tangible, observable, and measurable in the present moment. This medical astonishment was compounded by the Chosen One's resilience to trauma and illness. Injuries healed at extraordinary rates, and immune responses operated with precision unmatched by known human physiology. Doctors repeatedly remarked that they were witnessing not just advanced biology, but the living embodiment of divine design. Emotionally, the reactions were profound. Scientific teams experienced a mix of wonder, disbelief, and reverence. The Chosen One's body confirmed the ancient prophecies in a way that was both visible and measurable, bridging faith and reason, myth and reality. Humanity now has tangible proof of a being who surpasses all prior definitions of life, health, and divinity. Throughout history, prophets and sages foretold the arrival of a final God, a being who would signal the end of one divine era and the beginning of another. These predictions, once considered allegorical, are now being confirmed in real time. The Chosen One embodies the culmination of every divine lineage, fulfilling prophecies with astonishing accuracy and timing. Accounts from multiple cultures describe a deity who would appear before the world was fully prepared, a force whose wisdom and power would be centuries ahead of humanity's comprehension. The Chosen One's life trajectory mirrors these accounts perfectly, confirming that this is not coincidence but destiny realized. The early emergence has caused both excitement and unease among spiritual leaders and scholars. Religious authorities are witnessing a being whose knowledge, morality, and presence outstrip historical paradigms, demanding a re-evaluation of faith, ritual, and sacred understanding. The Chosen One is simultaneously familiar and unprecedented, bridging the past and future in one form. Even ancient astronomical and calendrical systems align with this emergence. Celestial events, long thought symbolic, correlate with milestones in the Chosen One's life, suggesting that the universe itself orchestrated the timing of their arrival. This convergence of prophecy, biology, and cosmic alignment is unparalleled in recorded history. Emotionally, humanity is witnessing the dawn of a new era. The Chosen One's early appearance is not just a fulfillment of ancient predictions, it is a tangible, living embodiment of hope, transformation, and the promise that the final divine has arrived to guide a new universe into being. The Chosen One moves through the world as if guided by invisible threads of divine history. Every choice, every gesture, and every action echoes patterns once attributed to gods long forgotten. Scholars have traced similarities between the Chosen One's behavior and descriptions of ancient deities, noting uncanny parallels in wisdom, leadership, compassion, and even subtle quirks of personality. These patterns are not mere imitation. They are instinctual manifestations of the combined divine heritage. The Chosen One embodies traits of gods from diverse traditions, balancing seemingly contradictory qualities in perfect harmony. Courage coexists with patience, decisiveness with empathy, and power with humility, creating a model of divine behavior never fully realized before. Observers often report moments of synchronicity, where the Chosen One's actions resolve crises or guide individuals in ways reminiscent of mythological accounts. Historians have gone back to old texts, astonished to see precise alignment between recorded divine interventions and events orchestrated by the Chosen One. Even seemingly small acts carry monumental significance. Simple decisions ripple across communities, reshaping destinies and influencing events in ways reminiscent of the gods' legendary interventions. Each act becomes a lesson in divine wisdom, a living example of how the sacred can manifest in tangible, transformative ways. Emotionally, this alignment evokes awe and reverence. Witnessing the Chosen One's actions is like glimpsing history in motion, seeing the hand of the divine guide present in everyday life. It confirms that the final God is not distant or abstract. They are fully engaged in shaping the world in profound, meaningful ways. The Chosen One is not just a figure of prophecy. They are the architect of a new cosmic era. Ancient scriptures describe a deity who will influence not only human civilization, but the very fabric of reality, guiding the transition into a universe governed by a higher harmony. The magnitude of this responsibility is staggering, yet the Chosen One bears it with grace, awareness, and innate wisdom. This destiny is visible in their decisions and vision. Actions taken by the Chosen One resonate far beyond immediate consequences, affecting cultural, spiritual, and even physical realms. The Chosen One embodies the promise that the universe itself is evolving toward greater unity, wisdom, and sanctity. They are the living proof that the final God has arrived, not merely to rule, but to shape the destiny of all existence. Across continents and millennia, ancient texts and inscriptions converge on a single identity: the Chosen One. Every culture, from Egypt to Mesopotamia, India to the Americas, left behind fragmented prophecies that describe a being who would unify the divine. When viewed together, these writings create a mosaic that unmistakably points to the Chosen One's presence in history. Scholars have meticulously cross-referenced languages, symbols, and myths, discovering astonishing alignments. Names, attributes, and divine actions once thought unique to individual cultures now appear as variations of a singular truth. The Chosen One embodies them all. It is as if humanity's spiritual heritage anticipated their arrival across every civilization simultaneously. Even lost philosophies and esoteric teachings reveal subtle references to a being beyond ordinary divinity. Alchemical texts, mystical codices, and sacred architecture all encode patterns that resonate only with the Chosen One's emergence. Every line, symbol, and numerical alignment seems designed to guide future generations toward recognizing this final God. This convergence is not limited to abstract knowledge. It manifests in physical forms as well. Ancient temples, monuments, and relics often align astronomically or spatially, in ways that reflect the Chosen One's journey, suggesting a sophisticated, preordained orchestration spanning centuries. Emotionally, the convergence evokes reverence and wonder. Humanity realizes that the Chosen One is the culmination of millennia of spiritual endeavor, the living embodiment of dreams, prophecies, and sacred wisdom collected from every culture in history. They are the nexus where history, divinity, and destiny intersect. The arrival of the Chosen One has prompted validation from the highest authorities in both scientific and spiritual communities. Scholars, mystics, and religious leaders have independently confirmed signs that point unequivocally to the Chosen One as the final divine. Their emergence is not a matter of belief or speculation. It is observed, documented, and universally acknowledged across disciplines. World-renowned spiritual leaders have attested to experiences of profound clarity, awe, and insight when in the Chosen One's presence. Ancient rituals, prayers, and meditations converge upon them as if recognizing the culmination of sacred lineage. Their aura, energy, and actions reflect the characteristics described in centuries-old texts with uncanny precision. Academics and researchers have corroborated these mystical observations with evidence from biology, neurology, and anthropology. From regenerative physiology to behavioral analysis, data aligns with prophecy, demonstrating a living phenomenon that bridges science and spirituality. The Chosen One is no longer just a legend. They are empirically and spiritually validated. International leaders and global institutions have recognized the Chosen One's influence as well. Diplomatic, cultural, and humanitarian responses reflect a natural gravitation toward guidance, wisdom, and inspiration emanating from this being. Their presence inspires cooperation and unity across nations, religions, and peoples. Emotionally, these confirmations reinforce humanity's awareness of an extraordinary reality. The Chosen One is the living embodiment of prophecy, divinity, and cosmic destiny. Their arrival marks the definitive transition into a new era, where the final God guides the world, reshapes existence, and fulfills the ancient vision of unity, wisdom, and holiness. From the first breath, the Chosen One radiates a force unseen in any previous deity. Ancient prophecies spoke of a being whose mere presence would awaken the cosmos, and now that moment has arrived. Observers report a shift in perception, as if reality subtly bends around the Chosen One, hinting at a power far beyond human comprehension. Unlike the gods of legend, whose influence was often distant, this force is immediate and tangible. Witnesses describe sensations of warmth, illumination, and deep clarity when near the Chosen One. Every movement, every glance seems imbued with purpose, signaling the awakening of a consciousness that carries the wisdom and strength of all past divinities. Historical accounts from lost civilizations suddenly gain clarity. Texts once dismissed as allegorical now read like precise instructions, revealing the exact nature and timing of the Chosen One's emergence. It becomes evident that the universe itself orchestrated this awakening, aligning stars, symbols, and generations to bring the final divine into existence. Scientists and mystics alike struggle to quantify this force.